Welcome to Medrash Rabbah on the Parsha we are holding by Parshas Ki Tavo, and we are going to be discussing something which, in connection to what the Torah speaks about in, I believe it's the fifth Aliyah in some versions of the splitting of the Aliyahs. The Torah there says that Medrash Rabbeinu tells the Jews, if you will listen, right, to God, what's going to happen eventually, the great things that are going to come, and how great you're going to become. It goes into length to discuss that. So in connection to that, the Medrash Rabbah brings a pasuk, a verse from Shlomo Melech's book, King Solomon, the book of Shirashim, right in the beginning, to bring out something in this concept, quite a deep, truthful idea, a little hurtful, but truthful. And it is as follows. The Medrash says that the Torah is actually compared to 5 different types of things, different types of items. One item is mayim, water. The Torah is used to describe Torah. Water is used as a parable for it. Another one is wine. Another one is dvash, honey. Another one is milk. And the final one is shemen, oil, specifically olive oil. Now the Medrash says that Shlomo Melech specifically refers, he describes and brings out an idea which brings out a certain point in Torah which is connected to olive oil specifically, because every one of these ideas that we said, there's a parable for Torah, because each of them brings out a different point in Torah to help us understand the idea of Torah, what Torah is about, what it is. So the idea of oil is the one that Medrash discusses, and it brings from the verse, from the pasuk in Shirashim, right in the beginning, that Shlomo Melech, King Solomon, says as follows, a very interesting wording. He says like this. So Shirashim, if you're not familiar with, it speaks about, right in the beginning already, starts discussing Shlomo Melech, so to speak, talking towards his loved one, his wife, etc., speaking graciously about her, or vice versa, the loved one, the wife, speaking about her husband. And one of the things he describes about what he loves about his spouse is the wording that Shlomo Melech uses, l'reach shemanecha tovim, to the scent of your good oils, shemen turak shemecha, like oil, your name will pour out. That's one way of translating it. And he says, and the pasuk ends up saying, Al keil alamli savucha, and that's why the young ones love you. In other words, because of your powerful scent, that's like oil. In those days they had scented oils, so people love you because of that. So the Medrash says that actually Shlomo Melech is really speaking about a parable there. A parable of Torah. Shemen is supposed to be the parable of Torah, and Shlomo is describing something specific, what's unique about it. And what is that? So it says the Medrash like this. Oil, olive specifically, comes from a place which is very bitter. Right? And olive, essentially, before you pickle it, the way we have it in the stores, is quite bitter. And then you squeeze it, you work hard on it, you grind it. Eventually, that's how you come with this precious oil, which is so useful and so precious. So says the Medrash, this one idea is what we can see in Torah, which is that in the beginning it's a guarantee, it is going to be b'mitzar, it's going to be narrow and difficult, and in the end you are going to see this abundance, which is just like the oil. It's very good at the end. Okay? And the Medrash brings a verse from Eiv, which Eiv describes Torah to be that way. Eiv says, V'haya reishischa mitzar, your beginning, he's referring to Torah, says the Medrash, your beginning will be mitzar, be narrow, v'charischa, and your end will be yizge, me'oid, will be very high and very lofty. So that's what Eiv describes according to the Medrash Torah. So the question over here is, what exactly is that important to us? Torah is going to be difficult in the beginning, and then it's going to expand as you go. And he says, and ultimately it says the Medrash, this is what the Torah here is describing. So let's try to understand what Shlomo Melech specifically is trying to say with this knowledge that we have. The Medrash gives us as a background, because it ultimately wants us to understand this verse, this pasuk that Shlomo Melech is saying, which let me repeat it again. Shlomo Melech says, "L'reach shemanecha toivim," to the scent of your good oils, shemen turak shemecha, like your name will spread out, will be emptied out like oil. So in other words, what that's saying is, just like these scented oils, right, which eventually, what could they do? They spread everywhere, right? Oil sticks onto everything, it spreads everywhere, it carries a very good smell with it when you scent it, and the scent, right, oil is basically it could be used as a base for scent, to help spread scent. So says the Medrash, this is what Shlomo Melech is saying, that your name, right, it's referring to someone who learns Torah, works on Torah. Your name could be like oil if you involve yourself in Torah, and you basically make yourself like oil when you involve yourself in Torah. What is that? That you're going to make sure that in the beginning you're going to break through the difficulties when involving yourself in Torah, because it's always going to come to difficulty. But it's guaranteeing you that at the end, your name will spread like the oil. It will be as pleasant as oil, as scented as the oil. You will give off many senses. You will be very pleasurable to all. And that's what the Medrash is pointing out, basically. This concept of what the Gemara says, that Gaitu mitzvas atam and lei gaitu lei mitzvas altam. The Gemara says it's in regards to Torah. What that means is basically, it's a lesson, obviously not just for Torah, but anything really that's qualitative, which Torah is the most qualitative treasure that we have, which is that if you want to get to the juice, you want to get to the essence of it, to where you pretty much tap into everything, that ultimately opens everything up and brings out greatness, you are going to have to push that narrow hole. You're going to have to expand it. Otherwise, you're never going into the hole. You're never leaving in. So that is something that it's not just it's not just a cause and effect, right? It's not just rather a reward for we're doing something good. No, this is something that if you want to get to the essence of anything, this is how the way the world is. It's like this oil. That's what the Torah. That's what the Shlomo Melech is saying. You want to get to the essence of the good of this item of Torah. It's like the shemen. It's like this. This is how the way it works. You have to bring it out. You have to take it out. Only then will you see the goodness of it. So this is a lesson in general in regards to Torah. However much effort you put in, that's how much you're going to get. Right? If your Torah is going to be easy for you, right? You're sitting down. You're getting your Eitzah, whatever shirim you have. It's easy. Then you're not going to be able to get to the essence of it. The essence requires the mitzvah that first originally is going to be difficult. It's going to be tough, but eventually you are going to see the greatness. Have a good Shabbos, everyone.